Good morning. It is Monday, the 21st of November. We have a very short week this week. We have a first day of the week and a last day of the week. So we just have Monday and Tuesday, and then we have the Thanksgiving break. And you guys have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off of school. You have Saturday and Sunday, and then you also have Monday. So you have 6 days off in a row because we have a teacher work day on Monday. That knocked you over, huh? So that should be nice. You're going to have a nice big break. I like your sad face though, Kano. It makes me think you like school a lot. So today I'll kind of go through what we're doing, but we sort of started this lesson on Friday. It was that poetry lesson that I talked about. And then in math, you're continuing with a lesson that you don't have anything due today. It's due tomorrow. We're continuing with our writing project that we've been working on. We're going to be doing some writing of our essay this week, but I didn't assign a ton because it's such a broken up week. So it's pretty easy. And we have a science thing that we're working on. So all of that is happening. Please turn on your screens if you could. I see about half of you with your screens on. I know you don't really like to look at yourself. You know, you can go up to view and hide self view so you don't have to look at yourself. Did you know that? So I'm going to share my screen and go into a couple of things. Well, actually, before I do that, do I have a joke, Eli? Are you ready with a joke? Not yet?
Wait.
You go ahead and get one. And then, Liam, did you have a riddle you wanted to share? Or do you want to do it later?
Hold on, let me see. We could try and I think I'll be ready by 10.
Okay, you can do it later. And Mila, are you ready with the weather this morning?
Yeah, I'm really sorry I'm late. For some reason, my 8:30 alarm didn't go off.
It's okay, you're fine. Thank you for that's very polite of you to apologize. But if you're ready to do the weather, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I just look up Portland weather.
Yeah. So, yeah. So while she's doing that, are you ready, Eli?
No, not yet.
Okay, I got it.
We've got a couple of kids who are sick. I'm so sorry, you guys. That's a bummer.
I couldn't sleep last night.
You couldn't? Okay.
Me neither. I couldn't sleep at all.
Okay, Mila, are you ready now? You go ahead, because Eli's not ready.
Yeah. Okay. So today on Monday, it looks like it's going to be partly cloudy. It's going to be 49 in the morning and 37 later. On Tuesday, it's going to be rainy, and it probably will rain. It's going to be 52 in the morning and 43 later. On Wednesday, it's going to be partly cloudy. It's going to be 53 in the morning and 36 later. On Tuesday, it's going to be partly cloudy. On Thursday, it's going to be partly cloudy. It's going to be 53 in the morning and 40 later. On Friday, it's going to be rainy. It's going to be 52 in the morning and 40 later. And on Saturday, it's going to be rainy. It's going to be 50 in the morning and 42 later. And on Sunday, it's going to be rainy. On Sunday, it's going to be rainy. It's going to be 48 in the morning and 38 later.
Oh, so it's going to be a rainy break. Okay. I have had 3 people tell me they're sick today. I'm so sorry about all you guys who are not feeling well. Yeah, do what you need to do to take care of yourselves. But at least you didn't have to get up and get dressed and everything to go to school. Okay, so it's going to be a rainy week. That's kind of a bummer, but do fun things inside, work puzzles. Do you guys like to work puzzles?
I hate puzzles.
Oh, I love puzzles. I love sitting there working a puzzle. So relaxing. But work puzzles, play games with your family, help them cook, help everybody cook. Do you guys cook the big Thanksgiving meal? Are you turkey eaters? No?
No. For me, I do.
Yes, no.
We cook turkey.
We eat tofurkey. So that's what we eat is tofu turkey. Lemon honey tea. That sounds good. All right. So Eli, are you ready with your joke? Thank you, Mila.
Oh, this one sounds great.
Okay, do it.
I think I lost it. Oh God.
Do you want to do it at 10?
No. I found it.
Okay.
What do frogs order at fast food restaurants?
I don't know.
Frogger.
You can respond to him in the chat or to everyone.
A frog.
French flies.
What?
French flies.
Oh, French fly.
Oh, I thought it was Frogger. Like,
That's great. I thought it was ribs, ribbit. All right, thank you. Thank you. And Vivi, you know, one of your prizes is that you get to change my name. So you decide when you want to change my name and what you want me to change it to. Okay? And let me know.
I'm thinking of Mr. Cat.
Mr. Cat, let me do that right now. I don't know if I rename myself if it'll stay all day. So remind me to change it later on.
yeah, it doesn't stay on your name.
There, can you see it now, Mr. Cat? Well, okay, great. Okay, we did the joke, we did the weather, we did the riddle. Let
No, we
me
didn't.
share my screen and go
We did it.
over.
I did
Oh, we
yours.
didn't do the riddle yet, but we're doing the riddle later. Okay, here's my screen. I wanted to look at the week. So here's the week, guys. It's not a very long week, is it? 2 days. So on Monday, we have an A day today. Math lesson, dividing big numbers, the lesson, but nothing to submit till tomorrow, which is quiz. And then this afternoon, we're going to do the writing lesson where we're going to start working on the body paragraphs. Remember, your introduction should already be written. So today we'll have a lesson on how to write the body paragraphs. And we have the reading cats today. We have the heart of books today. And we have a forces in motion lesson that we started last week, but it's not due till tomorrow. So that was that one. I guess it has a quiz, but we built our rockets on Friday. Did you guys shoot off your rockets? Did they work?
Yeah, they worked, but mine.
Did it go higher than mine?
Mine flew high, but it landed underneath my bed.
Oh, did you get it back out?
No.
Okay, and I'm going to show you something I added in here. You know how I told you that this doesn't look like it's live. You know how I told you that there's an option to memorize a poem over break? I actually put in my old assignment. You don't have to do this whole assignment, but some people wanted to memorize a poem so they could earn a prize. So here I put in, if you'd like to memorize a poem over Thanksgiving break and recite it for us on Zoom next week, you can earn one of our virtual prizes. Here is the project. And actually that was poor grammar because it should be a comma. There you go. That bugs me. Here's the project I used to assign to all my 5th graders. You don't have to do the whole project, but can if you want to. Just memorize and recite for the prize. And it talks about the importance of memorization, how you can choose a poem. Then I used to make my students tell me the name of the poem, the reason they chose the poem. And then it talks a little bit about here how to recite a poem. So you want to try to memorize it. If it's a really long poem, you can just memorize a stanza or 2. Those are those groups of words that go together. Say it with feeling so it makes sense and it's interesting to listen to, changing your voice. Use a loud, clear voice, make eye contact. Here are some very famous poems. These poems were included in a list of poems for 5th graders to know. This one is by Emily Dickinson, an American woman poet. It's about autumn. Here's one by Christina Rossetti about the wind. Here's one by Edna St. Vincent, another woman poet. Here is a very long poem about bats. Here's a Nikki Giovanni poem. She's kind of a modern African-American poet. Pretty cool poem. Gary Soto, a lot of you might know his writing. He writes a lot of books for children about sports. Edward Lear has funny British poems. You don't have to do one of these. You can do one of your own. That one's super long. The Pied Piper of Hamelin is a story poem about this. Well, it's a really famous poem. So you might want to read through these anyway. Here's a shorter one. Here's Fireflies, kind of a neat poem. The Echoing Green, a really famous old British poem that a lot of people know. The New Colossus. This poem is written on the Statue of Liberty. So part of it is. So this part, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore, send these the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. So this is what it says on the Statue of Liberty. So that's kind of a fun poem. Casey at the Bat is a really famous poem. I always challenge students, anybody who can memorize this one can have 5 prizes because it's so long. I had some boys memorize it once, but boy, is it long. Look at that poem. Emily Dickinson, A Bird Came Down the Walk. If you want a short poem, here's Carl Sandburg's Fog poem. Words Free as Confetti. This is kind of a lovely poem. And that's it. So those are the poems that the country thinks are important poems. There are many other poems. That's just a link to that if you wanted to do it. You don't have to do that assignment, but the poem link is there. And then you do have an assignment due tomorrow for the writing unit or the reading unit. And we're going to work on our second body paragraph tomorrow. So by the time you leave for Thanksgiving break, you should have your opinion writing essay about half done. You'll have an introduction and 2 body paragraphs. Then when we come back next week, we'll finish up the other writing and be ready to edit it and revise it for the last week. And then the week before, like the 8 days before winter break, we're going to do a special project. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on there. And here's the lesson that we were in, the 5th grade language arts lesson. Mila, what's your question? I'm sorry.
I have a question about the poem thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
What if like you can't memorize a poem easily? Could you still like read it to the class or get a class prize, or do you have to 100% memorize it?
I want you to memorize at least a stanza or 2. And I think you can memorize it, and learning how to memorize something is actually a really good thing because you do need that skill of being able to memorize things sometimes. It's good for your brain. So like when I was a kid, I would make flashcards and I would test myself. I'd read it and then I'd try to do it from memory. When you try to remember something, each time you try to remember something, you lock it in your brain. So that's part of the whole goal of this, is to practice memorizing. I think you can do it. You don't have to memorize the whole poem, but a stanza or 2. Okay. But you can still read it for the class. I think you can do it, Mila. I think it won't be a problem for you. Read the poem Rolling Up the River. So this is on page 4 of our language arts. I'd like you guys to open up language arts mod 3, 3.04, lesson 3.04 right now. So Liam, move over to the computer and open it up. Go to Canvas, go to language arts, go to mod 3, open it up and go to lesson 3.04 and go to page 4. And it says practice. Read the poem Rolling Up the River. Highlight words that describe feelings. Underline words that describe the setting. Put boxes around actions. As you read, think about the purpose of each stanza or part of the poem and answer the following questions. So I want you to just do this with a partner in a breakout room. So how does the poet prepare the reader for the rest of the poem in stanzas 2, 3, and 4? What words does the author use to depict the setting in stanza 2? And how might stanza 4 leave the reader curious to learn more about the Mississippi River? So when you go to language arts, mod 3, lesson 3.04, yes, Liam? What's your question?
I accidentally raised my hand.
Oh, okay. So I want you to remember these questions and then open up the poem with your partner. So you're going to need to have this. And I want you guys to practice reading this out loud, stanza by stanza. So there's 4 stanzas. So the first person reads the first stanza, which is this group of words. The second person reads the second, the third person reads the third, and the fourth person reads the fourth. I'll put a few of you in there. If there's 3 of you in there, just share them. If there's 2 of you in there, just share them. I'll try to put you in groups of 4 in case people are quiet. And then remember, you're supposed to pay attention to those questions. So if you look at this, it says, what happens in stanza 1? How does the poet prepare the reader for the rest of the poem in 2, 3, and 4? So you're going to want to go back and forth between those questions on the page and the poem. So stanza 1, what happens? Let's read it. I'm going to read it right now with expression the way I want you to read it. Rolling Up the River by Marcus Samuel. The mighty Mississippi River flows from Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico, through not 1, not 4, but 10 United States to join hands with tributaries that lie in wait. The river banks are beautiful, the land's lush and green, a flyway for birds en route to a new scene. Over the marshes, the water does dance, beckoning tourists to take another glance. Upon these waters, a sailor smiles up and down its 2,000 miles, From barges and vessels to theaters and shows, the Mississippi has changed over the years, we know. The dangers were many, the death toll high, for explosions and fire were constant cries. The passenger and captains, it's good to note, were part of the history of the amazing steamboat. And after you read it, I'd like you to talk about all of these things and answer these questions with your partner, okay? When you have finished all of that, then you may come back to the main room or you may leave the meeting. Remember that we're on lesson 3.04, page 4. I'm going to stop my share and answer Nora's question. Nora? What's your question?
I put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, we're going to go to breakout rooms. You guys are going to read the poem and then discuss all those questions, and then you can come back to the main room, okay? So I'm going to create breakout rooms with 4 people per room. And please try to speak up and read if you can. Take turns reading the poem and then discussing it, okay? I'm going to open the rooms. Alame, if you want to stay here with me and read the poem with me, you can. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.